Hey everybody, how are you doing? Oh, let's see here. Geketsu. Good to see ya. Hopefully I'm not cursed by an audio problem again. Trying to make sure things aren't too loud for y'all. A little bit of music in the background is good, but Lana BR, yeah. Um, oh man. How much did you actually get? Geketsu, thank you very much. I appreciate the confirmation. It's tough for me to see just from levels because I'm not good. Lana BR audio good, thank you. Lana BR, how much snow did you get? You're gonna have a total of like close to a foot then over the. Yeah, you probably want to get on top of that. I'm gonna be facing that same thing. We've got some moving in a couple of waves, and I don't like to let that build up too much. Ancient Coder, hey, good to see you. How you doing? We're just settling in. Believe it or not, I do have a plan, and I have a little bit of show and tell. Um, just a little bit, and some news and some good stuff. We have a project. We have a goal. We have a big thing. Like it's big. We're not gonna do it this stream. Maybe a couple of streams, but and it was a user provided idea, which I like. Gekitsu, we're only getting some light dusting. Further south, they're having to dig for their cars. Oh goodness, yeah, yeah. It's kind of that way. I was reading an article. I don't remember if it was on the Ask Science subreddit, but it can actually get too cold to snow, and so you trade like these super frigid temps for also the fact that it just won't snow. Um, yeah, put some salt down so it won't. Yeah, yeah. Lana BR. It's one of those things where you kind of. I don't know what kind of volume or what kind of area you're shoveling, but several easier light passes are sometimes better than just going out and trying to like dig and chuck it. But then you kind of wonder like, okay, I see white covering the driveway, but is it enough for me to go out and take the effort of doing it, or do I wait, or you know? And then sometimes I don't even shovel my driveway if it's not much. And it's going to be a day or two, and then the temps are going to warm up enough, then I'm just like, I ain't got time for that shit. Okay, so what do y'all say we get to it? So I did have Rambling Geek up, but I muted the audio, so hopefully it didn't do that like double hosting type of a thing. So yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Hopefully it's looking good. You know, I'm working with pretty rudimentary equipment here. Stream. Okay. So I want to go back and just really quickly, yeah, Vim, Jan 8. We'll just recap Tuesday, which was kind of crazy, and I wasn't that prepared. But a great idea came out of Tuesday, which I like. We're going to talk about that. And I can fix this because that was done. People are good with the schedule. I don't remember what this was. Oh yeah, we did that. Yeah, no, we can do that. So if I Control V to visual block and then Shift I to insert my little checkboxes, then I can go in and say that's done. Clarkio, my man, how are you doing tonight? Or yeah, tonight. I think you're in my time zone. You're close enough. Oh, there's some apps I want to kill for sure. I want to kill Slack. Kill that. Because Slack is a hog. OBS is a hog enough, but and Outlook for sure. We do not need stuff coming up exposed. So, yeah. Doing well, how are you? Clarkio, I'm glad you asked. Glad you asked. So I had an interesting past 2 days. That's why my prep for this, and I'll show you my my on task. What this was right before. So hang on. I have a command for that. Um, that's not an affiliate link, by the way. Just go there. That's just where it is. You have to find it somewhere to buy it. But anyway, so I had an interesting day today where last night I was terraforming Amazon MQ, and Amazon MQ is a managed, essentially a managed ActiveMQ thing, and so I had the code all ready to go. This is using workspaces, and so I was just gonna terraform like our dev environment, and I'm used to some things taking a while, right? Like when you terraform out a VPC, it can be pretty quick. EC2 instance startup time, it's pretty quick. There's weird things, and they're usually the managed services. So like a NAT gateway. So as opposed to a NAT instance, a NAT gateway, it's managed, and it can take a surprising amount of time to provision compared to like the fast stuff. And I would say 5 minutes tops. That's the kind of the longest I've seen that waiting to be done. And so I run this Terraform apply. Everything looks good. I've got my security groups. I've got my subnets that are pulled from a different thing through a data import, and everything looks good. And it's sitting there, and it's like it's north of 5 minutes, right? And then it's like 8 minutes, and I'm like, oh, something has gone wrong. And so I force exit it out of that. Oh my lord, everything was jacked up. I jacked up my Dynamo lock table for the state. There was stuff sitting there, still kind of creating, but half created. I had to go. It was a mess. So I finally got all the mess torn down, like reset back to my state. And so this morning, I was like, okay, well, maybe I can fix this. Well, I did, and it turns out their docs actually say it takes 15 minutes for Amazon to provision Amazon MQ. Like, it literally just says, expect it to take 15 minutes. Sure enough, I was patient this morning, let the damn thing run. 14 minutes and 37 seconds is the Terraform apply time. So, lesson learned. Now, so I went to bed with one unsolved problem. And then I went to bed with another unsolved problem. And that was, go to my show and tell if this still works here. So my other unsolved problem was this guy, which is wired up almost exactly like, except it's a whole new Arduino and a whole new breadboard setup and everything that I got to be my backup. I need to have two of these in case I screw one up, or in case something really works and I want to keep it and I want to still experiment on Saturdays. But I wanted this, instead of being to push it to light it up, to push it and manage an internal state machine that tracks whether it's lit up or not. And so it's more of a toggle. But it was behaving really weirdly, and I was like, wait a minute, I know the hardware's right. I have, so I'll unplug the leads on it, because they're long and gangly and a little bit unmanageable. But I did get my multimeter in. So I got a multimeter. It's like a super basic Fluke, about $39 on Amazon. And they're supposed to have a really good reputation, and it seems like it works pretty well. So I knew everything was fine. Voltage across. I knew now I've got my resistors that I can actually measure what the ohms are. So I knew that I thought that was right. And then I really thought that my code was right, because, I mean, I know that I'm technically writing in C, and I'm more used to JavaScript, but it ain't that hard to write a state machine that way. And so I went to bed with that second problem. And I don't like going to bed with things that I don't know. I'm fine stepping away from problems, but man, if there's a thing that I'm like, I really have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. So this morning I solved the one. This morning I talked to, apparently there's a bunch of electronics and Arduino nerds that work with me at my work, and I have that, who filled me in on the fact, Clarkio, yeah, same here, because then I can't get it out of my head and I want to sleep. Yeah, exactly. Or, maybe I do drift off to sleep, but I wake up like, oh, maybe it's, oh, never mind. And it just, that and the wind that we've had, I'm pretty tired. But I'm doing this for us. Schedule. So I put it in today. All that to say that the two things I was worried about got solved, and then I had my annual review with my director, and that went really well. Um, and they are full on board with me streaming. In fact, I have approval for two exciting things. The first one is some equipment, and I think I'm not going to do it on stream, so I'm pulling this off to the side. But I'll just kind of list out what's on the way. Pac-Man Jr. in the house. Holy crap, man! How are you doing? This is just like, I almost feel like I'm hosting NoOpCat's channel with all the familiars. Let's see here. Okay, so coming on the way is a green screen and lighting kit, microphone, stand and windscreen, with a Blue Yeti USB microphone. I've heard Blue Yeti is one that would be really well used for streaming. So I got that, and two webcams, and two tripods for said webcams, because I've got it in my head. I need to sketch this out. How I want to. It's like an L-shaped desk type thing, but Landon BR says, did you see my idea about a dev stream calendar web app? I probably did. Uh-oh, Clarkio, sorry. I shared that. What the heck is that? Yeah. Sorry. So, this is a triangle-shaped whiteboard that you put on your desk, and it has a little. It's on task, and the link is. Hang on, I may be lost here. Share the on task link. What the heck is that? The on task is this. Can't handle this bro video. Did you watch their video? Do they have a weird video? Do they have like a crappy video? So that there is an opening for your marker. Whoops, for your marker, and it has like a little eraser that's perfectly sized. Yeah, there is. I'm still. I don't. Maybe I want to. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't. I actually. I didn't even watch a video. I think I saw someone else that was talking about it, and I just went and bought it. I bought one for here and for work. So, if that's crappy, then I. What do you do, right? I mean, obviously, I could just not share it. I'm still going to use it because I have it. Clarkia, when you say I'm gonna, okay, so I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna have to watch it. I don't get into bro stuff. I don't like it. Okay, okay. I just want to make sure that you guys aren't upset that I'm using it and talking about it. But yeah, Ancient Coder, hell, what? Tell them. I demoed it. We use it on stream all the time. In fact, so what I was doing for stream prep is, and I erased a one, is so I was doing this for a couple of AWS accounts. And so I just keep track of it, and I just kind of roll across, and sometimes it. You haven't seen the video. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out, man. I'll check it out. Let me get through this thing. So apparently, the AWS, can we make a thing? No, we can't. The issue is, can we get some ideas? We did get some ideas flowing. I did not do this. I did do this. Okay, I just wanted to review what we actually did before jumping into what are we doing today. What are we doing? So we got this done. Oh, shift. I'm not very good with Vim, people. I'm trying to get there. I do know how to exit Vim, though. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, so the other part of the news, and the reason why I was last minute prepping. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, heck. Hang on. So, exit Vim. So the other part of the news is that my employer has said that they will sponsor the AWS work that I do in their account. So I don't have to do it in my personal account. And when I incur costs, I've organized it such that it's under an organizational unit for the different accounts that I use, and it can be billed and kind of it'll all say like this chunk of the bill for these things is for me streaming. But they said feel free to put that in there. I try not to leave crap running, but I may for a future stream demo idea of a thing that I want to share with people. But I have to have some data first. Hey, Wintermute, what's up, man? Life is decent. Decent. I can't complain. Hey, Brave Cobra. Let me see. Geketsu. Anti-bro stuff. Adam Savage put an EDC bag on the market. Oh, so EDC, in case anyone's not familiar, is everyday carry. You know, it's stuff like my wallet is the Ridge wallet that people get into their weird little things that they carry. An EDC bag on the market. It's made from white recycled sailcloth. White because NASA aesthetic. And because things are easier to find in a things are easier to find in a shite bag than in a black one. Bros went nuclear about it not being a black messenger bag. Yeah, yeah. Ancient Coder, yeah, it's super cool. So the items that I listed that hopefully I think will improve the stream are also being paid for by my employer. And they do allot me some time, which is kind of weird as a consultant, but I do get some time for stream prep and kind of enhancing the stream. It's not a ton of time. I do put a lot in, but that's all cool stuff, right? I mean, that's like they were like, hey, you're passionate about this. We want to embrace your passions. If this is a thing that you want to do, and of course they're going to look at it through the lens of like, in what way does this help us? It helps with some sort of credibility. So for example, if a client was like, oh, well, Clean Slate wants to do X in the cloud for us, do they actually know what the hell they're doing? I'd be like, yeah, go to this stream that I have saved off to YouTube and you can see. Or, and I think this gets to some of it too, is for example, and this is my first consulting gig. I will tell you that. I've been at this for 13 years, but this is the first time I've not been at a normal company. Is that you're hired to be the expert, really, but you don't know everything because no one knows everything, right? And you are supposed to figure it out. And so I think by streaming and going through this, I can demonstrate at least that I'm not completely new to the things that I say that I know how to do, but I'm also going to bump into stuff and people are going to see, well, how do you find it out? Like, I mean, really, until about 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'd literally never terraformed out the Amazon MQ service. Never did. I mean, but who cares? I've never had to use it. So you just, this one client project requires it to move their app to the cloud, and so we figure it out. So that's the last part of my news that I have, really. Let's see. So I want to get into the review of Octobox. We have so I did close out a thing, so I do have a schedule command. So I closed out that issue. And when you guys ask for in that repo, which when you guys have ideas that you throw in there, and I do close them out because this is not a repo that we're actually going to have code in. It's really more for issue tracking. But when you throw those in there and I close them out, I'm trying to at least provide like validation that I did it. So because you won't really know until the next stream, right? And I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, yeah, fixed, or won't fix or whatever. But there was a request to add a schedule command, and yeah, doing stuff for real people, exactly. So add a schedule command. I thought that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, you know, it's say, what am I doing? Yeah, talk to me. Gooseman is here. Goose is on the list. Talk to me, Gooseman. I tell you what, I I hardly ever get to catch your stream live. Just it's a time zone thing, and it's the fact that I'm like an early bird. But early bird, get right, early bird. Talk to me, Gooseman. Um, but when I go back and watch, it's one of those things that's like, I so wish I could be there live because like you're doing stuff and it's hard. I don't want to post like an old stream, but man, I really love your channel. It's laid back and informative, but like everybody is just so cool. Like all of your chatters, it's a cool community. I love your layout. Yeah, pun game strong like ox. Landon BR actually just donated to Octobox on Open Collective. Always good to give. I've heard that name. Okay, hang on. We're gonna make this a thing. I'm gonna do this. So, because we were going into this anyway. Octobox, one issue. I'll go ahead and open that, and it nicely, even on a click, opens in a new window. How nice. Landon BR, speaking of schedule, that was what I was mentioning earlier in the Discord. I'm planning on making a calendar app where you can put all the various streamers in a single place. See, yeah, so I've actually, yeah, talk to me, Gooseman, exactly. Octobox is that's where I first saw it, on NoEpcat's stream. And in case there's anyone in here who does not know, this is like the parent community that has spawned off so many various weird children like myself in streaming. But yeah, so I started trying to track other people's streams in just a dedicated iCal calendar, and it became frustrating because people cancel or they move it, or it's like, it's the shifting nature of some people are rebooting their stream, some people are doing things new for like just because it's a new year. It's being like really hard for me to track not only who am I gonna watch, but who can I raid, who can raid me. If I share something with someone, like, do I even have any rough idea of when they stream? Like, I can do a shout out for NoOpCat, but that doesn't tell me like anything about what their schedule is. If we had this idea, like Landon BR is talking about, I wonder if we could write the shout out thing to then pull from an API and say, and they stream at whatever. I don't know. Just an idea. Dev chatter starting on it, Brave Cobra 2? Yeah, I mean, this is like all the awesome people. Hello, Codephobia. How are you doing? This is awesome. The Mike Jolly. I just saw you in Rambling Geeks stream. Yeah, I think, one of the things that I really like about AWS, like this is because I know AWS. This is not saying other people don't do this, other like Azure or anything. I'm not making the clouds fight each other. I'm saying I know about one, and it's like my day job to know about one. So that's how it is. But they develop their APIs first, and then they develop like UI access to features. So there are actually certain things you can only do with the API because the demand was not strong enough to expose it through the console. Like if I create an IAM user to change what the name of the user is, you can't do it through the console, but you can do it through the API. So I think API first is the best way to do stuff. You know, hey, heck. Actually, I remember this. Oh, and I know some of these. Oh, Adam is man, if you want to get some ideas on how to take good notes, Adam is amazing at that. Very, very good at keeping track of things that work, things that are broken, things to do, just thoughts and explanations of how did I overcome this. Yeah. I know that. Yeah, Jesse Skinner. Yeah, this is. Oh, crap. I'm not on there. Oh, what do you do? Do you just do a pull request? Talk to me, Gooseman. The Bob Ross of notes. Yeah, no kidding, right? Like keyboard ASMR. Oh, you just do a PR. Okay, cool. Yeah, I really, that would be super nice. I wonder, maybe it would be better to have an issue first. You know, since that to me it seems open in. So looking at this, so it looks like we've got this very long list that will then link to correctly using the links in the markdown to the thing, and so you would want to probably have the schedule down here. But I wonder if people are, I wonder if people are going to want to say like, give me a list of everyone on Tuesday. Well, hell, oh, yeah, I don't know, because it's just a markdown document. It's not like the GitHub GraphQL API, which would be nice for this kind of thing. Yeah, heck. Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe we do a pull request for this channel, and then maybe make an issue of saying like, hey, have you ever thought about because okay, I guess let's put it this way. These are a bunch of streamers on here that either did they do it themselves or did somebody else do it? I wonder if somebody else did it. So let me see pull requests, and we'll go to 112 closed. No, so it looks like actually people are doing it themselves. So I wonder if we make an issue, if that would allow a conversation space for the streamers themselves to talk about how do you guys coordinate with each other? How do you do it? Maybe they already have an idea that we're not thinking of, but haven't had the time to do it. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, putting it in a Google Calendar, I think it's okay. It's one idea. Um, I wish there was a better solution for this though. Fetch the filtered calendar. Brave Cobra 2, have you worked with like the API for that kind of thing much in the past? I never have. I don't know. What is it? Just that's something I don't know about, but it sounds like maybe that would work. Yeah, Land BR. I think the exploratory part is important because I find it okay. So because Twitch is so heavily centered on the gaming community, I have a hard time finding content unless I'm referred to it by others, or unless I'm rated onto it, or unless I see it from a host. But the actual like the browse interface is I'm not having much luck. And then there's also like ranking in that interface too. So I'm like, am I seeing something I'd really like that matches what I like, or am I seeing something that Twitch thinks I should see? Brave Cobra 2, speaking of that, you come up with the trickiest ideas. Hang on. Hang on. So, I believe I did this. I'm gonna have to start tracking some shit to do. Okay, so, first thing. What was that? Open Collective? Okay, Open Collective. One day I'll have a view that'll be able to show y'all that. Open Collective. Let's see. So close that. We'll get to this in a minute. Where would I wonder. Let's see. Where would I find? Like you should have a pretty clear link somewhere on the page where people are using your stuff that they can do this. Do you think? Where? Where does that go? That goes to GitHub. Okay, maybe I just don't know Open Collective. Unless I'm missing something. Okay. Well, talk to me, Gooseman. No, I'm not. I'm not great at doing that. It's when it's in the heat of the moment. I'll just throw it on the whiteboard as like this is what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna do anything else until I finish the thing. Okay, so Open Collective. What is it? How does it work? There's a medium thing. I wonder. Oh, you have to. Oh, interesting. This reminds me of Patreon. Oh, is that it? Okay, Lennon, I got you. Thank you. I just want to give some money, and I start off by searching Wikipedia for what does open really even mean? Okay, so this is specifically for it. Yeah. Oh, there, yeah. Okay, they're a C6. That's cool. This is cool. They're open. Oh, they have Tweeter. They have a tweeter. Yeah. I'm gonna have to smash that follow button, which by the way, if you haven't smashed the follow button up there, you should do that. It'll help you get alerted when I go live and whatnot. Like Pat, yeah. Oh, really? So, yeah, this is actually kind of cool. I like this idea of how much they have. They estimate their budget somehow. And this is cool. This is actually really cool. This is really cool. I like this idea. That's very cool. You can become a backer per month. You can make a one-time donation, which is good. I mean, not everybody wants to do like a monthly thing. You know what I mean. Oh yeah, I love their keyboard nav. Like it. What? Whoa, that's heck. Yeah, Andrew Nesbitt, I think, has been in NoOpCat's channel before. So, you said click the click the, so budgets. Oh, what? What? No way. You know, heck. This is. Well, talk to me, Gooseman, probably because he's like, God, I gotta be there because they won't shut up about me every stream. But no, it's seriously cool. I just think GitHub should buy them. And when you click the notification tab, it takes you to that freaking interface. Yeah, how transparent is this? So if I'm curious, Heroku hosting, they have a category for web services. So this was out. There was a monthly donation that came in. Like it's a freaking open. Well, no wonder you're paying $321 to Heroku. Jesus. Hire me, my friend. Hire me, friend. There's not exactly detail, but it shows that it shows what it was. Yeah, the Mike Jolly, exactly. That's the. Yeah, talk to me, Gooseman. Heroku. Just as a person that does things for work, I have experiences from clients and whatnot. And Heroku is a lot like Firebase. Dirt cheap to get started, can get you off the ground, very easy to use, it's very user friendly until. And it's almost like how in the United States our tax system is based on like a step function, right? So you get tax this amount on that amount of money. The money beyond it is on a different amount. The money, so it's a step function. And so Heroku and Firebase pricing work that way, where there is like this kind of happy, pretty cheap, not too bad, and then you hit, holy shit, we've got to do something. And usually the thing that they do is they go straight to just native AWS from Heroku, since that's what it runs on anyway. Yeah, talk to me, Gooseman. That's exactly what usually happens. That's what happens. It happens to everybody. And then it becomes really difficult to spend the time and the money and everything to hop off of it. You know. Yeah, I think that the way that Suze uses it, I'm trying to emulate it, although it's not really that important because I don't have anything going on. But it is nice to bring it up and say, I found this because in the morning I popped this open and there were 2 issues and I closed one of them and I saved one for later and it stayed there. And it has a dark theme. And the dark theme is, yeah, I get down with this. Yeah, it's very cool. I'm down with this. So let's throw some money at these people. Let's see. I'm not going to do it live on stream, obviously, but I'm just opening this tab and minimizing it for me to do later. I'm not doing it live. Not when it comes to money, unless I'm spinning up cloud. So yeah, this is very cool. This is very cool. I really had no idea that it was like this. Sorry, talk to me, Gooseman. Cloud locking. Yeah, there's a lot of cloud locking on all sides. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. In fact, no, I'm not going to bring it up. So, MPAA rating. I've never seen you before. I think that's your username. MPAA rating. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I'm just kidding. I work with this guy. How you doing, buddy? I work with you, nerd. Well, I'm employed at a company. I don't know about work, which, by the way, MPAA rating. Holding down the office. Hold it down. Hold it down. I actually have a work command. Because my stream is partially sponsored by our work. Alright, let me... Where was I? Here. He's off sword fighting. Let's see. Okay, so... Where am I? Yeah. Did this. We did do the review, but we haven't really looked at what the hell is in there. So we will. Darren told me that today and I got super... Well, man, hey, do it too. Do it too. I was so pissed off that your videos weren't kept. I wanted to watch them. Again, like you had such a like you had great music. It was a chill vibe. It was awesome setup. I was like, I'm in the mood for watching some, and they were gone, which that sucks. Yeah, yeah, it sucks. And the thing that really sucks is you can't set it up to auto archive over to YouTube that I've found. I'm a dummy with streaming, and guess who else is a dummy with streaming? MPJ. MPJ and Data David just did a stream yesterday or the day before. It was just super early. Um, and I couldn't catch him because I wake up at 5, which is early-ish for most people. They started their stream at 5:30. I mean, because they're like in Sweden. Um, and I went back and I looked at the very like the first like 30 minutes or so. Train wreck, as it always is. It's I mean, that's that's how it goes. There's so much crap that I didn't know about streaming. APJ, so he did do one or two other streams. Talk to me, Gooseman. I think, and I don't know if those videos are still around either. Early, yeah, 5 a.m. early-ish. I don't know. I was doing 4 a.m.s for a while. 5 a.m. They're different mindsets. They're different. I got into it mostly because of my kids, because of times that they had to get on the bus and stuff. I had my daughter. I don't remember what grade she was in, but she had to be at the bus stop at 6 a.m. So I mean, for me to see her off to school and then my two sons, I just got up. Oh, a small burst of stream. I think that's common. Talk to me, Goose Man. I think people kind of do it, and then they're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I run out of ideas, or I'm frustrated, and whatever. But not me. I'm gonna dumbly stumble through every part of it, and my work encourages me to dumbly stumble through everything. My eldest woke me up at 5:30 this morning, and we had to come to Jesus about how that's not an appropriate time to be awake. Yeah, okay, I can see that. Okay, so we had this idea come up in the last stream, and unfortunately, I mean, I'm still unprepared, but I'm like, I think we can do this. Yeah, dev tips took a lot of work, and they changed the type of production that he was making, focusing. That it's a thing. They're gonna do their thing. I'm gonna continue to just do your thing because I think that they're awesome. So we had this issue come up during the stream that we had on Tuesday, the 8th, this past Tuesday. I'm saying dates in case somebody comes across this randomly. So 2 days ago on the stream, I was talking about Terraform workspaces and how they're different than some types of Terraform where you would want some infrastructure executions to happen doing different things in different accounts. Like I want you to go ahead and run and create all my buckets that I'll need because those names are important, or ECR registries or whatever. You kind of you create your global crap that you need, and you're really never going to be running destroy on this stuff. That's a different concern than if you say I have environment A that developers can play around with and all that, and then I have environment B that only automation can play with. I want to use the same code in A that I deploy onto B with automation. And the way you do that is with Terraform workspaces. So it's when you have a one-to-one mapping of the stuff deployed in here and the stuff deployed here. The only difference would be things like naming and potentially sizes of instances, number of tasks provisioned, different scaling metrics, that kind of crap. And so I brought it up and we opened an issue and I took a look at it today and I've come up with some ideas on how we can start using the next couple of weekday streams to move toward an actual example in the cloud. Not my cloud. My employer's cloud. We'll make it happen. So Brave Cobra opened this issue right on the stream, I think. And I was like, okay, do you want to just see how it works, or do you want to actually do a thing? And he said, that GraphQL API demo that I did could be a good candidate. It's already 2 containers running with Docker Compose. They're stateless, so they're probably pretty easy to deal with. And they're made for rapid development and iteration, and they do work after after I fix the bug live on stream that bit me in the ass, which is fine. Um, we could use that as an app to deploy in 2 or 3 environments. We'll keep it to 2, but we'll deploy it with a third, right? We'll have an ops one that does the deploying. We'll have a dev and we'll have a prod, and then that could make it fine. And then doing a rolling update without downtime, and do it live on stream. That's not happening anytime soon, but when we do get to that point, we will do it live on stream to prove that this stuff works. Unless, the demo gods. So that's kind of what we're doing. I want to catch us up to like where I'm at with it. So multi-account, correct. We do have that. I do have that, and so trying to think. I'm gonna have to switch what repository this is, so I'm gonna have to remove the origin and do a hub and create and push it up. I want this to be on GitHub. Right now it's not. It's in like a Bitbucket private repo for my work. But I am allowed to share this since technically I did not develop it at work. So we'll do that when I get back. We're taking a short break. Mostly I have to use the restroom. I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. And when we return, we will get the repo created. We'll get our branching stuff set up. And then we'll start creating our code spaces for the Terraform. And we'll probably go ahead and create the ECR registries just live on stream. It's fine. Assuming all my credentials and everything work. So I won't be showing credentials, but I will be using them with a plugin, but it shouldn't leak anything. And if it does, I can just destroy stuff real quick. So I will return shortly. Okay, are we back? Hello? Check, check. Let me know if you can hear this. Looks like you should. Got him. Okay. Ah. Okay, so here's... Okay. So. Okay. My suspicion now. It's not a button. No, it's not a button. My suspicion, actually I'm gonna do this. So, I'm gonna document this. Adam style. Touch. Dumb mic issue. Okay. Last time I unplugged the G35 USB and plugged in. It worked. I've run into this on several streams. That worked. It didn't. I unplugged 3 times, tried a new USB port, no dice. When I loosened the cable on my chair, because it's kind of pinched in my chair, and when I tweaked the cable position going into the headset, it worked. So what I think is, I think this connection has something going on with it from being pulled around and stuff over all these years, that the audio part was fine. I mean, you guys could hear the music and I could hear the music through here, but there's something here. Yeah. Bluetooth headset. Well, the solution is I have a dedicated microphone coming, sponsored by my employer. And so that solves it. I won't even need the mic on here. I mean, not really, like not consistently. Okay, let me scroll back here and see all you patient people, because it makes me feel good that, like, as long as you keep music going, people will not abandon you and hate you. Was321, good to see you. How you doing? Okay, Jesse Skinner, what I was saying is I was able to catch your stream, and I don't remember what time it was, but that was my reminder. Oh, heck. So it was relatively early in the morning for Eastern Standard Time, and I was surprised to see you on there. I was like, oh, I'm going to get my morning started here like this. And you speak pretty good German for what it sounds like. Sponsored. Yeah. Hey, man. I'm not going to turn it down. Like, I'm raising like a family of 5 on like a single income, and like I'm pretty happy with my income, but like when it comes to extra toys and all this crazy shit I have, if they're like, yeah, you know, drop us a line here and there and help advertise a few things and we'll just buy all your stuff for you and pay your cloud costs, I'll be like, I ain't gonna turn that down, man. You're just gonna have to deal with it. If you're having a great stream besides the mic trouble. The mic trouble again. No, we're on a little bit different tangent, Was321. Talking about a restuff current headset and mix. Yeah, I mean, you know, like whatever. It's not exactly like you're selling out. Jeez. MPA rating Get some more switches coming, man. First tasted free. Oh, heck, dude. Yeah. Oh, what was going on with your keyboard? I saw that you figured it out, but I didn't quite get it. Did you put, like, the rubber O-rings on it? And maybe that, like, pressed on something? That was weird. But you got your first free taste of the keyboard that I use. See? I'm getting there. I'm taking feature suggestions. Lenny BRSO Tierney got back, and he's cool with us using his awesome dev streams repo for my calendar idea. Really? Hell, yeah, man. That's awesome because it's tough to coordinate. It is. You would think maybe Twitch would provide a feature like this. But I don't know. Just saying. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so I have a repo, WAS321. I have a repo that I had used for a GraphQL demo. And there are two containers. One is running JSON server as a REST API, and the other one is GraphQL, which is pinging that against that server to provide the GraphQL interface. And so an idea was brought up by Brave Cobra when I had mentioned the idea of the difference between like Terraform multi-account, like ops stuff versus like your dev staging prod type thing, and using Terraform workspaces. And unfortunately, I didn't have any code because it's all client code, and like that would just be dumb even if my employer wasn't behind it. You just don't do that as a consultant. So the idea is we'll just make it, right? I don't have it, but we'll make it. Jesse Skinner, I mean, I think that's really cool. I thought it was interesting because it seems like around that time it was the same time as the other people speaking German, and so to hear you speaking that like back to them, like I thought it was really cool. Talon, GraphQL like a reporting tool? No, it's not. It can be used for it, but just the same as any other REST API could do that. Wow, what's the elevator pitch for GraphQL? GraphQL is a new way to interface with multiple APIs and data sources in a very client-friendly, strongly typed way with built-in documentation. That's the best way that I could put it. And we'll demo it some more as we go along because we're going to have to make sure it works. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yeah. And Talon, if you're interested, the GraphQL demo that I did is in a previous video, and I believe we did that on this past Saturday. Yeah. And so as far as the repo, we're going to make the repo right now. We got to make that because it's already in a thing. So, and I don't remember these commands, so we're just going to have to look them up together. It's just how this goes. Alright, so I think it's... And I want to move the damn thing anyway. So I think it's in my work folder, in here. Yeah... Oh, hell. I think I already have this open. Yeah, let's... I just want to see what... Oh, I've changed a whole bunch of shit. Oh, man, Oh, that's crappy. That's where I changed this stupid either prettier or ESLint or something, and it keeps bouncing all my crap back between single and double quotes in everything, which sucks. Gekitsu, which is surprising because Germans have a lot more words for very specific things. Yeah, I think it's a prettier thing. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Which I don't even care about the state of this. I don't even care about the history because we're just gonna lose it right now. But I know one of them was a bug fix. I did add the data shape to it, and I added a comment. Oh yeah, that allegedly was the thing I was going to be able to point it to, which never happened, so I had to mock it. Master genders, but that doesn't seem to utter you. With certain languages being gender specific, it is a little bit difficult. I think Spanish is another one that's gender specific. Let's verify first whether we have a working app. Brave Cobra 2, are you wanting another demo to make sure this works before we move it, or before we commit? What do you mean? There are some people who have not seen this. Also, Wes Boss has a great course that covers GraphQL. It's Advanced React and GraphQL, so it uses Apollo client and server, and then Prisma as the data source in the schema. Before we start deploying a faulty app, well, I mean it's still faulty. I mean, because it's code that I wrote, and there's no test, so it's still faulty. But yeah, we could do that. We could do that. So to bring this thing up. DC up build is, wait, where am I? Yep. We'll bring this up and we'll ping both of those. We'll hit both of those containers. Because I think we fixed our issue last time. But this will be the thing we're putting in the cloud. Eventually. We got a lot to do. Ruby on Rails dev by trade, trying to move into real programming. Heck, shots fired. My goodness. My goodness, my man. This aggression will not stand. Okay. So, yeah, I'll move that out of the way. So, looking at the Docker Compose file, we have a container running on 8080. And the logs seem to confirm that we do. And you can see actually this health check is getting pinged every now and then. And that's Docker Compose looking for a healthy container, because I've defined a health check with a retries of 3, time out of 5 seconds, an interval of 10. So it's looking for this thing. So if it becomes unhealthy, it'll restart it. I know, talk to me, Goose Man. That's why I was like, whoa, what? Shots fired! Yeah, GraphQL is yeah, it's a different way of looking at the world, just like unidirectional data flow and immutable structures and Redux and everything. We kind of looked at it and we were like, why the hell haven't we been doing this forever? I don't know. That's how it happens. So we do have 2 containers up. And so one of them is running at 8080 and one of them is running at 3000. So let's see what's running at 3000. This will look extremely familiar to you because if you've ever used JSON server, you provide it a JSON file that describes the shape of your data in the endpoints, and it generates an entire thing. So this is going to be 4 different endpoints that kind of intentionally, because it was made for a demo, are just like crap named endpoints. It's not RESTful at all, and it was done for exaggeration to show anybody who's ever gotten into an existing legacy REST backend, you end up with goofy shit like this every single time. So we have one that will get American flights, and it will return a JSON payload that contains a few properties. What airline, a flight code, from to airport code, departure date, the empty seats, the price, and the plane type. Pretty straightforward, and there's one of these for each of them. Okay, that's running on 3000, and this container on 3000 is linked to this GraphQL. So GraphQL depends on API, and so it can talk to this thing over here. So let's see, what do we have running on 8080? Well, first, what's it do? So it starts up a schema in index, and it's watching app. And let's see what's in app. Looks like a Express server in Node, because it is. And there's a single endpoint / GraphQL that we will want to hit. We can hit any of these other ones, and the default will send a 404 because it don't know about it. So what we'll do is we'll go to the 8080s. It will say 404. Yep, we got it. Now we expect health check to be healthy. If I could type today. Yep, 200, okay, cool. Now let's go to the endpoint called GraphQL. And because on line 20 I have graphical true, that's going to enable a really cool thing where I can actually start looking at built-in documentation because it's strongly typed. And so I'm like, okay, what does this expose? It exposes a query. Okay, what can I query? I can query flights like this. I can pass it some parameters, some optional parameters, and it will return a list. Notice it's an array. I know it's a little hard to see. Hang on, I'll catch up in a second. Man, I ain't even talking about airlines. I don't care. I don't fly. I rarely go outside my house. Oh my god, I think it's snowing. Heck. Okay, so I know what my query is, and it's going to allow me to pass in airline, and it's a string. I just hover over this, or I can just look. Airline is a string, so it kind of behaves as if it's a filter. I'm sure we could document that better, but it's going to return an array of flights. What is a flight? And again, this is all I've defined all of this stuff. Brave Cobra 2, calm down. Calm down. There's people that don't know this. So Talon, this is telling me exactly what is in here and what I can choose to return, as opposed to the normal way of making a REST call. You get all the data the thing wants to send. And then sometimes it sends you a thing like, this is the ID of a thing. Now you have the ID of a thing. You have to call another endpoint with that ID to get the rest of the data that you actually want. GraphQL solves this. And so I can get airline, price, plane type, and this lets me live run it against my server. And now I have an array of flights, and it's containing exactly the data that I want and only the data that I want. And then you can verify that in the logs that it was hit. And it was only hit and return the data that I want. So pretty cool, right? That's just kind of a, how does it handle ACL? That's a whole different complex thing. That's a whole different thing. And I still don't have my head around exactly that, but I think it's the things that are provided in things like Apollo, client and server, that will handle that. Beer brand Coors. Heaviness, crappiness. I'm not saying Coors is a good beer, dude. At all. But at CVS, it's like 17 bucks a case for a 24 pack. And it gets the job done. So we have the thing running. Okay. DC down. So we brought it down. Nothing running. Now, we got to do some get stuff. We will get, what are we committing? Hang on. I'm a little nervous here. And this code is not zoomed. There. Daddy needs his liquid fuel. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's what I do, man. Everybody has to have their thing. Okay, so we were cool with this. This was fine. This is the fix that I had to do. Yep, I added that. My problem was on... Yeah, I'm good with that. We added develop and serve, so it could be static. I don't know what that was for. Oh, because I had wrong ports. Yep, wrong ports. Default command added, and that added the better health check spacing. I think it was a formatting thing, so we'll just add all this shit. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Robert Daddy Tables. Cripes. Yeah. None of my kids are named Bobby, though. Let's see. Not running God mode yet. Well, I feel like life was set on God mode. And I'm just a level 1. And I'm like, what? Why am I only wearing leather? Like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, Gekitsu, that's true. Well, if you can ever get your head around all of JavaScript's weirdness, you know, you're doing pretty good. There's a lot of weirdness. But yeah, bouncing between languages, it's not too bad. I mean, I allegedly wrote a very, very tiny, naive state machine in C in the Arduino editor. I mean, Talon, yeah, exactly. Oh, that reminds me of some of the game streamers that I have watched, and I'm like, why are you just running around in a diaper, like, and everybody else is like suited up in these, like, mech warrior type things? I'm like, wow, found the level 1. Yikes. Okay, so we're good with this. We'll just say add stuff to make it work. I don't care. We're not really keeping the history of this repo either. I mean, maybe... Yeah, I think changing remotes would... No. We're not going to do that. We're blowing this away. This is now my code. Yep, it's my code now. So now we're there. I don't even know where I'm pushing this to. Where am I pushing this to? Yeah, that's my work one. We gotta change that. Let's see here. IBM's Loopback. Yeah, Loopback. There's a couple of Egghead videos on Loopback, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Loopback would be more like Express. It's absolutely not like GraphQL. GraphQL is a very, very specific thing. And really the biggest reason why the JavaScript community was able to latch onto it is because Facebook used it to solve their problem, which is many to many to many to many to many relationships recursively. It's basically graph theory. And they wrote the JavaScript reference implementation of it, and that made it accessible to everybody. Okay, so let me see. I think what I want to do is I want to get remove remote, and then I want to and then I want to add it, which I know how to do. How do we do it? How do we do it? Because I kind of want my state kept, so I'm not just going to copy this thing and delete the Git folder. Although, I mean, I totally could. So we'll get remote. I think that's what I'm doing. RM. Removes the remote. RM, though. Get remote. RM. Yeah, that's good. So we'll just remove the origin, right? So get remote RM origin. And get remote. We don't have any. Okay. So I don't think I can use hub to create right now. And we got to give this a better name, because it doesn't do a damn thing with the weather yet. Yeah, Brave Cobra 2. I'm going to keep the Git folder. I mean, it still will be good for people to go back and learn from, even if it's just myself later on. Be like, how did I fix that bug? What did I do live on stream? How did I fix that thing? So I do want to keep it. Holla. FF one. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hub. Well, hang on. Am I gonna blow something up if I just rename this folder? Oh wait. Oh well, this is dumb. This was dumb. So if I check out develop and I merge that in, because I want those changes, that should, okay, I can rename, well, I'll do this real quick. So check out develop, get merge, okay. I think we'll rename this. We'll rename it and we'll freaking move it because this is not where I want it. Move recursively flights to code stream. I'm not sure what to name it right now, but we'll do cloud demo. Heck. Oh, hang on. What did I do? Dumb. Oh, that actually worked. No shit. Okay. I was a little worried about that. Alright, cool. So we moved that, so we'll be working in there. Now, and hub create. I think that just works. Heck. Let's see. So hub is a wrapper around GitHub that allows some other cool stuff like creating them straight from the command line. Oh, I noticed a weird thing though. So I'll show you. Right. When you do, yeah, first try, yeah. I don't know if stuff blows up. I don't care. It's like you can fix it, right? It just becomes more boring for people to watch. But so here is the issue. Ooh, I have actions now. Put a pin in that. I didn't notice that I had that rolled out. Cool. All right, hang on. Let me catch up with the chat right quick. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Lucky. Talon, no problem. F Fire 1. I don't know how you want that pronounced, but thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I appreciate the lurk, Talon. I think that helps my stats in some way. Something like that. Cool. Yeah, I didn't. Jeez. I didn't know that I had that. Now I got stuff to learn. Okay, so what I wanted to say, when you use the hub command and you create one, it does appear to set up all your origin type stuff correctly, right? Right, so I've got my origin, but it doesn't even do the basics of making a master branch or anything, and there's like nothing up there. It didn't push anything, so So branch dash A shows me all, shows me local and the remote. But the master branch doesn't even exist. And this is problematic because the default way of creating it is master is default, and then you create develop, you push that up there, and then you can protect your master and then protect your develop similarly. But you actually have to go push this shit up. So I'm going to do that real quick. So that's a handy command. I know it's a curse word. You just got to deal with it. I didn't name the command. Hopefully this gets everything up there that we need. Let's check. Let's see. Do we get all we need? Do we have 2 branches? We can compare and pull requests, but instead we'll change that the default branch is develop. That's our base branch. And we'll add a protection rule. Apply rule to master. Yeah. Cool with that. I mean, I don't care. Okay. Close enough. Oh my goodness. Heck. Hang on one sec. Heck in GitHub. I think it's really funny. Well, maybe there is a reason for this, but I think it's really funny that like they're locking down the ability to like restrict force pushes to your master. That like, oh, you have to have a password for that shit. Like, okay, okay, okay. Think we're good. Think we're good. Sorry about that. Got a SecOps. Well played. Yeah, exactly. SecOps. That's why I have the secret screen. I learned that from NoOpCat. And a few other people use it too. But shit happens, and it's just nice to have a thing where, you know, you don't know if something will show. Whatever, you just like, I hit a little hotkey on the little Stream Deck that says secrets, and it has like an actual like skull and crossbones logo. Hide that shit. Protect yourself. So, allegedly, if we go to develop, we have all our stuff. There it all is. Great. First steps, people. I think. Yep. Repos. I'm from Argentina. Sorry about my English. I'm from America. Sorry about my English. We're not really great at that either here, as you've probably heard. That's how we do. Okay, now we have this. Now what I want to do is, I think, okay, that's way gonna be on a different screen. Don't worry, folks, we're getting to it. I told you it's gonna take a couple streams, but this is what you would do. This is what you would do. You gotta have a good, clean repo. It's gonna be public, which means I have to be extra careful. I'm not using code commit because I don't. we're just we're just not doing that. And I've never worked with it, and I don't really want to struggle on the stream to figure out how code commit works when I can just use GitHub. I'm sure it's fine, but there's a lot of features that I like in GitHub, and even more coming out, and it's super easy, and I can make it open. Whereas with AWS, everything is locked down by default. So I want this open to people, especially from the project standpoint. Ooh, which kind of is an interesting thought. Like, what if you had code that you wanted to keep like private, like you weren't ready to release it, but you wanted to use the open part of GitHub? Yeah, talk to me, Goose Man. No kidding. Yeah, that's what I heard, and I heard it's very, very slow. Yeah, I'm not bought in. One day I'd like to do like a full CodeStar project and just explore all the things, but for right now I'm taking bits and pieces that make sense for me and for my clients. It's one of those things. Really hard to even catch up with GitHub now that you got Microsoft money behind it, and not just money, but their development team and their community, right? That's the new VS Code GitHub pull request integration is fantastic. Oh, CodeStar can do. Ooh, talk to me, Gooseman. Talk to me more. Didn't know this. I know I can use GitHub as a source control option for code build and code deploy, but that's cool because there are some other nice integrations in the whole CodeStar type thing, because it's mostly all just like point and click and everything's all hooked together, like auto provisioning and connecting like IAM roles, service roles between the services that need to talk to each other. They have a lot of like things built in instead of, we'll have to do some stuff manually, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. That's what we do. We're nerds, right? But that's good to know. Yeah, code commit, I think, I don't know. I agree, like, competition is good for everybody, but holy shit, good luck. Good luck. Okay, so what we had to do, and I got most of this built out. If I had... There it is. Alright, so... real quick. I'm going to show what we're... I don't even want to be in that document. Guess what I want? We want AWS architecture. Check. We want the accounts. Okay, so we have one. And we have one that's called, let's see, Stream GraphQL Demo Ops. That's a whole account. You tried it already. Talk to me, Gooseman. I'm thinking of booting up a CodeStar Rails project for now to get the web server hosted, and then in parallel try to do it myself for the official release. That's probably a good tactic. A lot of times I'll, if I'm unfamiliar with a thing, I'll click around in the console in AWS like a savage, right? Until I figure out all the bits and parts that are needed to then take, okay, I built a thing. Now, how do I take that and pull it back into infrastructure as code and have it deployable? Nothing wrong with that. Do not mind. Do not mind that. And we have two other accounts. We're going to do... I don't know how to arrange this. But we'll have, like, Devin Prot. And I already created these AWS accounts, and I set up some cross-authentication. So I set up a user. I'll get to why I have to have a user if anyone's curious, but I have to have a user, and I think I called it deployer. And the user has some policies, whatever. There's a role. In here. There's a role in here that this can use lat to be that, or heck, come on, don't be like that with me. Or in there, close enough. We're not being magicians here. So I've also created a couple other ones that allow me actually as the me that I can authenticate to get into every single one of these accounts using my account. But I've also set up the access that if you use the CLI keys for this deployer user, you can then cross-authenticate to be the admin deployer in this dev environment and the prod environment. And obviously do all your own shit in the ops environment. So in ops, the first thing that we have to do when we're doing anything with Terraform is we need a bucket and a table. Oh, Jesus. Come on. David, remember what you're doing. So I need a bucket and a dynamo table. And this is going to be for kind of, well, really, I think you just need the bucket first. Oops. You're in it, and you're in it, sure. Loots? Loots, what's loots? What would you like that command to say if you said loots? Do I have loots? Like, I don't know what you mean. I'm drawing this in Lucidchart. Lucidchart is kind of like Visio, but it's online, so you can use it on a Mac, so it's not Windows specific. And there's all kinds of built-in shapes for AWS. There's Azure, so all the Azure stuff. There's like circuit diagrams. There's all kinds of cool, like you can even do floor plans. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And so then, in general, at a high-level view, well, we're gonna have to have. I know what we're gonna have to have. We're gonna have to have at least the registry created and 2 repos, and I wish they would specify. Oh, maybe. Whoops. Maybe we'll just do that for the 2 images we'll want to build. That, maybe. Lucidchart, yeah. It just might be kind of hard to see on the screen. Loots, and I can send you $1 without doing nothing. Certainly not gonna like turn that down, but I do. You can follow, you can subscribe with whatever tiers or Twitch Prime. There's also a tips thing that I haven't quite figured out with that, but I'll look into loots. I have not heard of that. That is interesting. So we're going to want to use the ECR registry to create 2 ECR repos, one for the web, one for the API. We know we're going to have to do that. This is all going to be done with that kind of global Terraform run type thing. Yeah, Codevobia, actually, I wish it was an app, but to be fair, they do have an offline mode where I've been disconnected from Wi-Fi and been able to have this and do edits and everything, and it kind of does like the Google Docs offline thing does. Is it'll try to keep a ledger and timestamps, and it'll like roll this forward and apply when you hop back online. So yeah, I know it looks like an app because I mean I'm telling you, like it feels like using an app. Whatever they're using is pretty freaking awesome. In fact, what the hell are they using? No Redux. Interesting. Don't know. Loots, it's a famous page. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. So we'll need those. We'll also need let's see, let me think about what we're deploying. We'll need a... I won't even draw out the network kind of crap because I know exactly what we're going to need with that because I'm doing that. But we'll want a cluster here. We'll want a cluster here. We'll want different routing. Where is my... It's under networking. Yeah, no. Where you at? I don't like that icon. We'll want different routing because we're going to have dev and then prod, right? Okay, so we'll want to build this out. Okay. So, thinking through this, we have a deployer that can run stuff. Well, we're going to want code build. Jesus, what am I doing? All of a sudden, the ops account is going to start getting real big. It's just, it happens. And my diagram is crappy because I'm doing it on the fly. Salutes for game. Yeah, coding streams are different. Jesse Skinner has a point. Coding streams are different. We're very different. I'm not saying it's all low paced, but it's more... It's... I don't know. I wouldn't get on a coding stream if I was wanting to get like hyped up, like amped up about stuff, you know. Lanny BR, you know, I have an idea for a project for tonight. I'm going to figure out why there was that jump in the stars count in the graph for Gatsby I shared in the Discord yesterday. Well, you know where to find the data, right? Which was a cool share. Science and tech, that is all software ads. No, oh. So much software ads. For users that is not accustomed to AWS, this doesn't mean much. You may want to explain. Oh, yeah, Brave Cobra 2, that's a good point. So let's walk through this. So this, I'm referring to as an account because there is no identification for, there's no icon for an account. But these are entirely separate accounts with account numbers and billing and different security and different users. Land BR, exactly. That's what I meant. You might be able to analyze, like, yeah, the GitHub API. You may be able to see, maybe, I don't know. It's worth investigating. You can do it rapidly at least. So we're going to have an account called Stream GraphQL Demo Ops, and we do have it because I created it today, with an IAM user due to the fact that the Terraform code is going to have to assume these roles, and I haven't yet figured out how a user can assume a role. Like, I'm just replicating a problem that I'm having at work, and I'm just going to use us as a guinea pig to try and solve it. But it's a problem. And then you want an S3 bucket. S3 is the storage. And we're going to keep our state in there. So Terraform is going to say, this is what I know of the world, and I'm going to shove it in here so that anyone else collaborating with you or you using a different machine, you can pull that state and say, this is what the cloud exists in the world. And then compare that to, I want to change the cloud. What's the difference? To keep it all in sync. And DynamoDB is going to be used for a lock table. It simply will say, this part of state, set a lock. Don't let anyone do an apply while you're doing an apply. And then when you're done, remove the lock. And then other people can do it. So this keeps people from trying to make changes to the same resource, or a person is trying to change a resource as it's being deleted. it handles that synchronization. ECR is the Elastic Container Registry. ECR, Elastic Container Registry. That's funny that they named it that. But this is like what Docker Hub provides. And we're going to create two ECR repositories, one for the web API, one for the GraphQL API, and one for the JSON server, because we don't actually have an API. We're still going to use our Mach 1 in production until maybe we build one or someone provides one. But we'll still use that. So then over here, we have a development account and a production account. These are entirely different accounts. Again, same thing. Different users, different roles, different permissions. We're granting access to the deployer to do admin stuff in this account, in dev and in prod, because they're going to be running, that deployer user is going to run commands that need to create and destroy and modify a bunch of crap. ECS is the Elastic Container Service. It's an orchestrator similar to Kubernetes or Docker Swarm or OpenShift. It just orchestrates your containers' health and balance and bin packing of containers to optimize the servers that it runs on. And hosted zone, this is really more for Route 53. So if I want to have a .dev and a .prod, or like a .dev and then a just .com or whatever, we're going to create those and associate those with load balancers in these accounts. I just wanted to put that there so that we remember we're still going to have to script that and build that out with Terraform. So we don't want to manage that by hand. Okay, that's our plan. I'm not hopping off stream. I'm going to take a break. We're going to keep going if you guys are okay with that. Unless there's somebody else streaming that you guys wanted to roll over to, but I'm good to get a little bit more stuff built out tonight. Y'all go with that? Oh, I'm going to switch up my playlist too. Let's hop over to I thought I would like that more. Maybe I don't. Keep going. Okay, we can keep going. Just making sure. Why is that called that? No. So I really wish the Dr. Disrespect one was confirmed for, like, for streaming. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break and then we go. But real quick, Brave Cover 2, curious about what the price tag of this is going to be. Are you talking to me? The price tag of what we're building? Alright. I'll give my thoughts when I get back. I'm gonna take a break real quick. And then we gotta start building out some of this stuff and getting things like good to go. So I'll be back. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm back. Just catching up on y'all chatting here. You notice the lighting is different, because it's totally dark out now. Lull winter. Let's see. There we go. Price. Yeah, the price tag. Don't know. Don't know. I mean, we could estimate it, but I don't necessarily even really know what the requirements are on the server I'm doing, because like the load is nearly nothing. You ever use Cloudcraft? Yeah, I've used Cloudcraft. Yeah, here. I have a license for that. Not that one. I have a license for that too. Cloudcraft. Show a little bit of Cloudcraft real quick before we dive in here. Cloudcraft is awesome. I love the isometric view. So this is I did an actual import of US East 1 in my company's account to pull in our resources to see like what they are. And the import, you know, it lays it out. The layout is the layout, right? It's basically reading like JSON files, right? But the cool thing is that I could go into one of these and I could say, okay, so I have this thing with a name. What is this? Well, I guess that's not the important part. I can see that this is connected to these volumes. That volume is 10 gigs, and it should cost me about a dollar a month. So this one involves pricing too, and it lets you do like budget type stuff. It could say this is what your cost is going to be for these things, and it's kind of pulling these in. Gekitsu. It's a Unix. I know this. Yeah. Yeah, but the live view is relatively new, but it can actually show you like what is in use and what isn't. And then if I were to click on this T2, these costs are not real world. These costs are based on a heuristic of if you were to run this 24/7 for this instance type in this region and blah blah blah, it will cost X. It's not a very sophisticated cloud cost tool. I have a tool for that. It came up earlier, but yeah, it's pretty in-depth stuff for planning and kind of getting a gut check. But like with some stuff, it doesn't make a ton of sense, because in a real-world scenario when you're architecting something, imagine that this is a server that developers only use when they're in the office. Well, I don't get a real-world cost of what this is going to look like running only 9 to 5. I also don't get anything about spot pricing. I also don't get anything about reserved instances. So you won't get any of that for any of these utilities. This is just using normal published price data heuristics, but it does give you a lot of detail on, okay, what ports are open to what source, all that kind of stuff. And it's a cool, you know, there's some Lambda stuff. Sorry. I hope I'm not getting cold. But yeah, there's buckets and volumes and Lambda. It's a really cool tool. It's a really cool tool. I'm still on the fence. I should probably build this back because I'm not even using it for personal stuff. But it's cool. The only thing that I found, and not that Lucidchart is not can't be faulted for this too, is that supporting new services and supporting new price types, the things that you can use are a little limited. Like for networking, they don't have Transit Gateway on here at all, or attachments or anything like that. There's very few things that they actually offer from a design standpoint. Let's see. So there's this. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's these are literally the things that it offers. So you know, it's okay. Curious about that itself on a VPC because of networking. Yeah, because of okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it kind of lags behind, and I think it's a thing where they were like, yeah, I mean, Codephobia, you could do the same with Lucidchart, and I've been doing that professionally for a while. And you can do an import of existing infrastructure in Lucidchart too. There's an AWS import feature. The one thing that I don't like is that it doesn't do it can't do cross account authentication, so it can't do assume role, and so you have to end up creating a read-only IAM user in every account that you want to do stuff in. But I think both would be great because the Lucidchart import provides better support for the iconography and whatnot. And then this can provide more of a generalized cost analysis. And then like I visually just, I did, intro mechanical drafting and then architecture in high school. And so this isometric view, I really, really love. It's better. But this would be for planning and guessing. This would not be for cost analysis of an existing account, if that makes sense. There are tools specifically for that, which I use. Okay, so we got our thing. We got our thing built. We have a few things. First off, is we need to go into VS Code, which I thought. Okay, so we still were, but I don't want to freak it out because I've moved like the entire thing. So I'll close it. So we did the GitHub repo. We got the thing. It's still working. Font still. Is that font too small or is that good enough for you guys to work with? You just let me know. Codephobia, don't worry. In fact, my employer absolutely wants me to do a demo of the thing. It's one of the services we offer. Cool. Good deal. Lanabeer, that tweet. What's that tweet? Let's see. Not that I don't trust you. I'm not trying to do that. Oh, it was a... okay, it was a push. Yeah. Okay. Thing doing a thing to a thing. Okay, I did figure out, we figured out our remotes. We don't need that anymore. I don't even know why that was open. And we're good. So, I got a new branch. Initial. Just count. Terraform. Good. So we checked that out. We're on a branch. What I want to do is I want to make sure my authentication even works, right, to these different accounts. And so I have some different roles that I created. So I want to make sure I source my bash RC. This is more of like a thing with a tool that I'm using. And I still haven't tracked this down why I have to keep doing that. But Awesome lets me look. So I have these three different roles. So I have Stream Deployer Dev is a role that I assume. Stream Deployer Prod is a role that I assume. And then the Ops is a user. So you could see, so Ops actually has a user, and the other two are roles that the user assumes. Does that make sense? So we're going to test those out. So, shit. Should have done that again. What do I call that? Stream Deployer. Assume. If I do AWS S3 LS, that's like my fastest one to figure out. Now, it doesn't report anything, but the fact that it doesn't report an error means that I'm doing the right thing. So I'm going to kill that one. Now let's see if I can assume role. Well, yeah, see, that's the error that it would do. Can't locate credentials because I I just killed it. Perfect. So we know that works. All right, let's check the other two. Let's do stream deployer dev. Brave Cobra 2, we've got a, in ops is going to be the role that is allowed to deploy the app. Yeah, correct. So I can authenticate with my IAM to assume any of the admin roles that are in this account, which are not listed in our diagram. There are other roles that are assume admin that are granted to me as Robert Tables in our corporate IAM account. I'm allowed to do that. I'm just not going to be doing anything with my account. I could do it. What I'm checking is if I pretend to be the deployer because I have it configured so when I authenticate, I'm using the deployer's CLI keys because it's a real IAM user in that account. If I pretend that to be that thing, can I do the stuff to do things in ops and then assume a role into another account and do things, and then assume a role into the other account and do things? And if that's good, we're off to the races. That's what I had hoped to get figured out before time for stream came up, and I didn't do it. So what? I'm just gonna start copy and pasting. So let's see dev. So I'm making sure, yeah. Assume that BUSS3 ls. If it works, no errors, good. Now I'll kill the session, and I'll do prod. Cool. Good deal. So what I'll do most of this stuff is as the stream deployer, because I'll be doing a lot in the ops account, which is fine, because we'll have a lot to do. So directory-wise, let's just make one called deploy or something, right? And we'll just stick everything in there. And we'll want a init directory. We'll just start with that. Yeah, we'll start with that. Can you show the dev role cannot? Well, no, I actually can't. Because if I assume a role because of how the local command line is set up, it's using the assume role ARN to export a whole bunch of properties into my shell. And so any AWS CLI command that I run, it's doing it against that assume role. And the role ARN includes the account. If that makes sense. Okay. So in deploy, yeah, I mean it's one of those things you can't do a really effective negative test case, and especially since the actual deployer user itself, I did not configure for console access, so there is no password to log in to the interface, like at all. I can't use that user to get anywhere. It can just do what it can on the command line. But yeah, it's hard to prove a negative case with that one. Okay, so in the init, let's describe. So I'm just gonna do a I'll just do a README. I know this is just like, what am I doing? Why are you using Visual Studio Code and then using the integrated terminal to then launch Vim to edit a markdown file? because I'm trying to get comfortable with it. What is init for? At some point, you have a chicken and the egg problem. Oh shit, hang on. I didn't describe that entirely either. We need to duplicate this. And we're going to call this workspace. Workspace TF state. And that's, stop it, dang it. Global TF state. Okay. Once upon a time. There's just a sign of them sinking its claws into you. You're well on your pet. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. My man! No hate for Vim. I just understand that I'm not there yet. Okay, so at some point you have a chicken and the egg problem. You want to store all state remotely in a backend. S3. You want to store other stuff like workspace state in a backend as well. S3. S3. Someone has to make that first bucket somehow. You have two options. You have two options. Manually click in the console and make the bucket. Create the bucket with Terraform and commit the state, or lose it. So for a project that I'm doing, we went with option 1 because it was the most expedient thing at the time, and it's fine. And you can always import stuff. You just importing it's still really finicky with Terraform. So essentially, you're going to have something that runs global and something that is workspace, right? Workspace is like the difference between deploying to dev and prod. Global is like setting up all that other crap. That's independent. It's stuff in global. It's stuff that applies to everything. It's stuff that you will build and then don't want to tear down. But behind that, you got to store your state somewhere for that, right? So workspace. If I have Alpha Bravo workspace and I want to store that in an S3 bucket, this thing can create that. That's fine. But when this thing creates that bucket, the fact the bucket was created needs to be stored in the state that this is tracking. Well, how can this thing track state in an S3 bucket that doesn't exist? What is the S3 bucket that I point to? And so then you're like, well, I can manually click and create and then tell this thing, your S3 bucket is this. Fine, I just did that on the project. Or we could run it right now and check in the state of that fact, only that fact, into source code. There's pros and cons. State can leak secrets, which I don't think this will. We'll take a look at it. I don't think it will, but it can. So that's kind of a con. The pro is that if someone needs to make an adjustment to that state bucket, like some other thing needs permission to it, or we need to set up a lifecycle policy, or we want to set up versioning because you messed it up and you didn't set up versioning or enable encryption, it's managed in state, and you can simply do a pull request and you can make that change and apply it to the bucket instead of deleting and recreating. So we're going to go with that option just to show it. But yeah, what is init for? That's what init is for. So we'll touch main TF and backend TF. And I had something somewhere where I actually did this, and I'm just going to copy it. I'm just going to find it and copy it. Ah. I'll look it up. Yeah. Because I went with that exact same route, but I don't know if I actually... I don't think I did it smart. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. And I don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. I think that's gonna work. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Yep. So I think... I don't even think it's backend. We don't even need that. It's just the one. We're just making two things. We're gonna say Mega Bucket. Well, we'll need a provider, right? Yeah, that's what backend is for. Backend is for the provider. Yeah, we'll need that. We need a provider. Oops. That's named dumbly. Move crap around. All damn stream. Okay. Provider. AWS. And I think we're on, well, what version? The hell version are we even on? Where are we? What version? That's not the one that I care about. Here. So there's Terraform versions and there's yeah, we're creating these at the same time. Okay. So there are plugin versions where if I just do this without a version, actually I think I could just do this. Let's assume the ops role. So we'll be ops for now. I'll assume stream deployer. And AWS is going to know that's my account, even if I'm not assuming a role, because the keys, the API access key and secret match up. Let's go into init and validate. Terraform validate is good. No suitable version installed. Version requirements, any version, and there is nothing installed. So, okay, TF init, Terraform. I have TF as a shortcut, so Terraform init, it's been initialized. It created this hidden .terraform with the plugins directory and Darwin AMD 64 because I'm on a Mac. And this is the particular binary that it installed. So I can look, and it's 1.55.0. So if we're going to create this thing, this is kind of the syntax. We'll do 1.55. It's close enough, right? So greater than or equal to 155, and we think we're fine. It's not, I don't think it's as locked down as like the semantic versioning with Node, but close enough. We don't need another role, but we are going to have to like create a bucket. So we're going to do that. Remote state and in there. Probably and a table. For sure a bucket, but I think a bucket and a table. That's cool. That's cool. We can do that. Add a comment here. So, make a bucket. Table. Did I... Yeah. Oh, actually, I don't know if my previous stuff had the right stuff for that. That's not good. I think I actually ended up corrupting that. Yeah, I probably did. Probably did something dumb. Okay. It's fine, it's fine. Yeah. I know we did that. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, cool. Cool. We're good. We're good. Okay, so we're going to do just an S3 bucket. Source is ABS S3 bucket. We're going to name this global. So Torn, I've seen this as snake case, camel case, spinal case. I'm going to do spinal case. Global TF state. What is this? You're not naming your bucket here. You're just naming this is the resource. In Terraform, when you look at the state, it's going to be called this thing. And we'll have to do the bucket name, the ACL. You don't want it public. I think you don't have to specify this. I think it's public by default. We want versioning. I think, and this is going to be a Terraform thing. Actually, that may not be Terraform. And if you notice, like this bouncing around and reformatting and whatnot, it's this VS Code plugin that kind of it's almost like a prettier command that's running behind the scenes every time I save it. I don't know who in the hell decided the standard looks like this for Terraform. I wasn't involved in the discussion. I'm just going to copy and paste this thing for yes, encryption. I want that. And some tags. We'll do some tags. And it is ops. It is managed. State. Global. That's good. And so let's just see if we've got this going on. Validate. Region required field not set. What? That. That what resource is it complaining about? I should have that. I'm gonna have to vim this privately off screen. Maybe I didn't set my region. Let's see. What user was that? That was... Oh! Oh. I get it. I'll fix this real quick. Hang on. Oh. What am I using? What am I using? I was just doing stream. Ooh. Yeah, I need to use that profile. Ops. Invalid profile. Stream deployer. Invalid. Well, heck. Why is that? Why that? Deployer ops. What did I do? Ops user. There's no role. No use. It's in the region. Should be provided by my role. I've missed a part. I do this a lot. I do this a lot. Stream deployer, that's cool. Did I misspell something? Thought we checked all this crap. Opposite, it says invalid profile. Am I misspelling it? Is it an invalid profile? Sorry that so much of this is off stream, but it's like, it's how it goes with this AWS stuff. Invalid profile. Stream. Where ops. Got the region, I got the output. That's not. It doesn't have a role. No, I don't want it to. Well, it can't be. Can't be that. I don't think so. I might just put the region in there just to unlock this, which I think is stupid. Because it shouldn't need that. It should just pick that up. My opinion. Should just pick that up. That's the dumb. We're gonna go Ohio. Which is fine. Of course, like, this isn't gonna work because I didn't give it a bucket name and all that. So we're gonna call this TF Global. It's gotta. That's gonna be private. Tags are fine. Prevent destroy to global. What are we even calling this thing? What did we call my account? Curious. Yeah, there we go. Global stream GraphQL demo. There we go. For now, we'll run this. If only to secure that S3 bucket domain name. So none of y'all sneaky MFers on the stream can go grab that bucket name. So now I can use it. Okay, now we can iterate on it. It shouldn't have to destroy the bucket or anything. So, cool. All right, now we've got that. Now we need a table. Lock table for the initial states. Actually, right there. There it is. No, not that. Nope. Where's the table? Where's my table? Yeah. Yeah, I'll just yank that. That's all good. Well, obviously not. So, environment is ups. I don't care about all that. I'm not paying for it. We are ups in global. Okay. Planet. Planet, do it. We can do it. Because that's just my global state. Apply it. Let's see if we log in and look at it. Bet we can. Whoops, that always... There. Yes. Alright, so we have a table for state locking. We have this. You'll notice we also hack. We actually have state, which we will check in, I think. That worked. Did it work? What account am I in here? Streamops. Going into Streamops. So Streamops, we should see S3. S3 bucket created. That's ready for our stuff. There's a bucket. Properties, permissions, it's private, blah, blah, blah. Then, Dynamo. DynamoDB. And we have a table. Ops Terraform lock, status active, lock string, read write. Okay, we got this going. Yeah, this is a little... It's always a little weird, you know? So you have your array of stuff. Robert lost his tables. Heck! This is a proper emergency. I'll watch that here in a minute. Okay. We don't have a depends on. This looks fine. The lock ID, recovery, blah blah. Create, delete, update. Provider bucket. We have the yarn of the bucket. We have the yarn of the bucket. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so this is fine. We have tags and everything. So there's nothing sensitive in here. It's just the point is that sensitive things can be introduced. So we're going to go ahead and commit this for now, as this is our starting point, and now when we develop anything future in Terraform, we're going to refer to the hell's going on. You did not just do that. What is going on? Why? What is... Why is... Oh, because I didn't... Okay, Jesus Christ. Holy crap, that scared me. Where I did all this in backend, and I went to main, and I saw it said make a bucket. And I was like... Did I somehow control Z my way into a weird state where I just lost everything I just freaking made? That's what happens when stream goes over. Everything is lost, thank God. Well, I mean, it's in state anyway, and it's out there in the cloud. I could import it. It's not the end of the world, but holy crap. What was I even doing in main? Oh, uh, nothing. That's probably stupid. I don't even think I need that. For now, I don't care about that file because I ran this. Actually, might as well just delete that file, and I could just rename this to init. And I can show you how smart Terraform is that even though I did that, if I say Terraform plan, it's good. Like, it doesn't care about file names. Like, it's reading the damn thing. It's saying, okay, your state file says you have this. I'm looking at this. There are no changes needed. Even though you rename the file. It doesn't care. It doesn't care about file names. As long as it's .tf. That's the convention. So, what I will do is I will throw getignore in here for this, which I thought I already... Obviously, I didn't have. So we'll do that real quick. Generate, and we'll say update and search for Terraform, and there is Terraform. You might want to document the creation of the account users roles if someone wants to try this. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's trickier than you think. Trickier than you think. There's a lot that goes into that kind of thing. You could script most of it, but it's more about the planning out of access and less about the actual kind of doing stuff. But what I could do is I could kind of I could do a readme maybe with some screenshots and some redactions to show, like, okay, go here and do a thing, this, you know, and show the relationship. I don't know. We could, yeah, that could be a thing. Because the console is confusing. I mean, like, Terraform is not super easy, but the console is super, like, hard to freaking find shit in, right? Am I the only one? So this could be a thing. Yeah, that could be a good documentation thing for me to do, and I do want to explore. So with this repo for the project, I want to explore the features of project management with GitHub too, like with projects and issues and things. I'm not very good with that on the GitHub side, so we could totally do that. But this is okay. Sorry, this is taking so long. I get sidetracked and things break and I don't know what's going on, but. Essentially, no, you're not alone, but I have that with any cloud provider. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've even run into discrepancies in documentation. Let me show you one. Terraform AWS MQ broker, right? So I was doing an MQ broker, and not the data source, the actual... Yeah, the actual resource. Okay, so here's our example, and you give a user object with a username and a password, right? It's let me bump that up. Sorry. There we go. So that's our example usage. Example usage is fine. It doesn't matter because this is kind of like this is just the syntax of what it would look like. Doesn't mean much. Now, what I do, what I'm interested in, and in fact. I think if I use just the terminal, I think I could show that code. But the big thing was right here. If you notice, right here, user, right? So user is optional. That's like this is what I'm seeing. So these are the things it takes, like broker name, it takes a configuration, engine type, engine version, all that. That's all this stuff. So these are the arguments. So these things are. The user is an argument of type object. So you go down here and you're like, oh, cool, the user is optional because I don't really think that the client currently uses any sort of username password to access the current on-prem MQ that they have set up. Great, that'd be awesome to leave it out. Just like, don't complicate shit, right? Well, as it turns out, it is required, and the errors will tell you And the AWS documentation tells you that the user with the username and password is required. And then down here on the nested things, the username and password is required in the object, but these other two are optional. But the user itself, the docs say, is required. But then when you run the Terraform plan and apply, you'll get an error if you don't provide the user. So like the docs are off, and I think some of this is the fact that not many people use this service. It's just not very popular. It's likely due to these providers have so widespread teams that it's almost impossible to keep things succinct and correct. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think I ran into this, and so now I'm like, okay, well now it's kind of like my duty to look at like the version of the Amazon provider that I was using, and what are the docs that it generates, and how does it, or just open an issue, somewhere, and say, hey, you said user is optional. It's not. You have to provide that, or it will fail. And I think it would be cool if they put a note that this damn thing takes 15 freaking minutes to start up, because it does. And it's scary when things go longer than about 5 minutes, and I bailed out and I wrecked my environment. I had to fix it all, which sucks. So, okay, let's see if we're in a good place for a commit. I want to wrap up only because I want to make sure I get some decent rest tonight, because last night I was stuck on a problem. I also have a debounce thing to try out that a coworker recommended. A debounce thing, because I think I'm having issue with electrical noise in this thing on the momentary button, so I need to fix that up. So yeah, the docs are not always the best. In fact, you know what's funny? I've noticed that Terraform will get support for features before CloudFormation does. I don't know. I think it's because they're rushing to do a thing at reInvent, and they make all the APIs, and then their CloudFormation stuff is all separate in documentation, whereas with Terraform, like, people are just writing APIs against it. They're not really doing all the other overhead. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But I've just noticed some new things that were released. It seemed like support in Terraform came faster. But let's see. Okay, nothing unsaved. We'll go back to terminal. Oh, goodness. Where were we? That's all messed up. Let's see. Here we go. What the fuck is going on here? Why is this? Oh no. Oh no. This is why I do a last minute check. It effed up my getignore. I wanted to update. Node. Jesus. No Terraform. Please tell me that unscrewed my... Good God, thank you. Jesus. That's a nasty commit. Unmess up my changes for Terraform plugin. Ignore. Close enough. Oops. Okay. Yep, you're not supposed to have that. We chose option 2. That is why we checked in the non-sensitive state. Cool. So we'll say add readme for weird looking local state. That makes sense, right? It is weird looking. We're not going to have that in anything else. It's all going to be S3. And then in here, for now, I do want to pull that out somewhere. I don't think I need it to be at 5. Well, no, probably not. Oh. I am going to want to do something about this to lock that down. But, regardless. Code phobia. So once you commit the initial, do you then ignore it? So anyone who clones gets the initial but doesn't overwrite it. That's a good question. The benefit is if you commit it and there are any changes made, it will be tracked in your revision history, right? So if there are changes to state. So let's say, for example, this is a good question. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm calling this out as this is a weird thing. The alternative is you click a button to click it to create an S3 bucket, right? Or you do a one-off CLI API call. Which, if you think about it, is what we're doing already. But now we're tracking the state in version control, and so if anybody did a CD into that and ran a command to update like permissions to it, like for example, if they went to update these permissions from ACL private to add a different thing, you would want to know, and you would want to track who did that in source control, that kind of thing. Yeah, or you would want to change the S3 bucket. Maybe something happened. Maybe you weren't happy with the region. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you want to change, maybe you want to turn off versioning. Maybe you want to change the encryption. Change the tags. That's a huge thing, man. To be able to really quickly iterate on your tags, because tags are a very quick, cheap resource to apply and change, and they don't require destroying the structure. But as you start evolving in kind of your, what, you know, the business people call the cloud journey, you're going to start doing things like, well, if you're an architect, you're going to have hours and hours and hours and days of meetings arguing about tags and naming things. It's literally 90% of what architects do is bicker about naming things. But to be able to iterate on that and not have to really bother the resource is super important. But this one in particular is special because like this holds the key state of all the other state buckets you create. You know, it's that chicken and egg thing. Code phobia, I kind of get that face. I'm not even lying. Like, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. But that would be why we would want to check it in. And in fact, I'm going to add this real quick. Create initial bucket and lock table. Initial state bucket. Global state. But see, I'm sitting here bitching about naming things. But I do have to adjust because I don't think I'm tracking that, am I? Am I tracking this? Now I'm worried. What, am I ignoring it? TF, hang on. Oh, yeah, that's my problem. I need to not ignore these particular ones. I think there's a splat one. Like there's an inverse. So if I did, I want to by and large ignore all TF state, but not deploy / init /star.tf state. Oops. And then also dot star. And if I... Oh, does this work? Yeah, it's being ignored. Yeah, it's... Which is a good call. By and large, it should, but I'm saying like special snowcake. And actually, I'll put that in here. Special snowflake. Need to... Not need. Want to track chicken egg state bucket and lock table. So if anyone wonders why the fuck are we doing this, so why the heck? Sorry of the cursing. Yeah, this is all good. Remove ignore for snowflake initial state tracking. Okay. I think that's good. Jesus. I'm glad you guys are still with me here. Like, we didn't really get a lot done, do we? I'm trying, man. Oh, no. Really? Come on. Alright, so that's pushed. Alright, yo. MNO, that is, MNO, not really sure how to... You mean what the Force update push to GitHub repo? Yeah, I mean, I could alias it like a friendlier name. It's fine, but it's not... I kind of go back to, It's actually like... No, it's... I mean, it kind of is, but it's... It is, like... It is the name of the command. Yeah, it's a command. It's actually really cool. It intelligently parses logs or error messages, and if it can detect what you were trying to do, you simply type that 4-letter word, and it says, "I think you were trying to do this. Is that correct?" And you hit enter, instead of having to retype the whole thing, which is nice. Also, I probably shouldn't have just added that permitted term. That's not cool. I know what you're saying. Any tips on naming variables? No, none. None. Naming things. I've had almost a whole week of naming things. Naming things is hard. In fact, I'm the proud owner of namingthingshard.com. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it caught me off guard. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not like intentionally gonna like name a curse word as an alias for a thing. I mean, not on stream, you know. But any tips on naming variables, I would say, hey, what's up, Rambling Geek? What's up, buddy? How'd your stream go? I'm going to try to check out the second half of your, well, probably more than the second half, to see how things went. But I was hanging in there for the first part. How'd it go? Sounds like we... need a meeting on stream about naming things. Oh my lord. Like 4 hours, buddy. Hey, but you know what? I know where you're going. I know where you're wanting. And those hours are going to help. You got to be there with the days and the hours, though. Anybody in here who is unfamiliar... needs to immediately go if the bot responds, and if I didn't spell that wrong, there we go. Needs to go check out Rambling Geek and give them a follow. Give them a follow. Give them some love. Bring the bird bones and the Ouija board. Yeah, man. the amount of time I've spent in meetings arguing. So, okay, I have to be very careful here. I have to be very careful here. Because I don't even know if there's someone from a client watching me and they're going to be like, you're talking about me, aren't you? But the idea was floated at some point during a day that, you know, for clarity's sake, we should probably create a new project, which again, projects in like Bitbucket and GitHub and whatnot, like they're like a folder name. So it's a project. You can rename it later. And we're going to, for some ungodly reason, carry all the history and baggage of like a decade behind us, but we're going to fork these repos and we're going to rename them. Great. So now we had 18 emails back and forth. I think it actually got up to a final like 22, and 21 hours it took to finally figure out the name of the friggin' project, which can be right-clicked and friggin' changed at any point and doesn't affect the actual repos. That's the naming things problem. Hey, Rimley Geek. I mean, you got farther and you were more productive than I was on my stream. I can't really even. Well, I mean, I guess technically I made a thing in the cloud, but holy hell, it's like worthless. But it's there. It's there. It's in. But there was a lot. There was a lot of stuff before that, so we're off to the races. So don't worry. Landon BR, if an email thread gets that long, you're doing a dumb. Well, I'm going to say this in the most polite way that I can. Client's going to client, right? That I have no say into the internal politics or the ways that companies do their things, for better or for worse. I've seen great things. I've seen bad things. I literally have no say into that. Nothing. Codephobia, lots of discussion too. Looking forward to the next one. Are you saying on this stream? Yeah, I mean, I try to. So if people tune in for building a thing, like they tune into like Atom, Gekitsu, exactly. Client's gonna client, just all day. Client's gonna client. They're gonna do the thing. I can give my recommendation. I can offer solutions. I can do that. But at the end of the day, it's like a. Okay, so this is my first consulting company. I heard this from somebody. It probably was my director, because he's so good and he's been at this for so long, and also has a history of a sports coach. So he just, man, if you ever get a boss that used to be a coach, they're the best. They're the hardest, but they're the best for you. Let's see. Ace Flameseer is now following. Thank you for the follow. With that follow, you join our community of awesome people. You can talk to me. You can get notifications of when I'm streaming. You can also talk right here in the chat to our community. If you have questions, post them below. People are friendly. We like to help each other out. It's like I was saying, my boss had said that whole relationship and that power dynamic is really weird, because you have somebody that hires you to be the expert, right? So let's say I have a house and I need to hire a plumber, right? So the client is the house and I'm the plumber. And I can give my professional recommendations and say, you're going to keep having leaks because this is galvanized, and you should at least move to copper, and for cost, just go ahead and go full on with PEX tubing. That's my recommendation. And then the client can say, nah, pass. Budget doesn't work. And then you have to like, okay, what's the next solution? I'll wrap some tape around this hole. Then it's not the plumber's fault that like 2 days later the other pipe blew up. Like, You didn't do that. You told them, and they chose, and that's the thing. That's how it works. And it sucks because you know, I have really high standards for myself and my team, but we in quality is really our I think honestly, like, that's the thing that I like about this company is that they emphasize it. It's like I'll be a week late on a delivery as long as it's the highest quality. That's acceptable. Um, but it's still kind of they're hiring you, right? They're paying you a thing. They're paying you as an expert. But at the end of the day, you you do what you get paid for, right? Land NBR, exactly. It's their issue, not your own. Like, you're hired to fix the pipe. You're not here to fix like the marriage problem that I have in my home, where I'm not allowed to spend money on replacing the galvanized pipe. Like, you didn't call in like the plumber and Dr. Phil to come in and yeah, exactly. Land NBR, exactly. And you can foster you can help foster a culture of that, but doing that within your own team is a lot easier and takes a lot less time. Well, it does take a while, but it takes a lot less time than trying to like rub that off on people outside your organization, and especially at a client. It's tough. Sometimes you can, though. I'm having a lot of fun with a particular one that has some super receptive people that are fun to work with and kind of see my vision, because they've co-opted that vision themselves. So it's working really well. But I have found that the best way to get things done is to make it seem like it was someone else's idea, and that someone else has the power to make it done. And then they'll say, "Oh, it was my idea," and they'll do it, and it's like, "Yeah, no, that was a great idea." Make it someone else's baton to carry on. Make it seem like their idea. Like, I was thinking about whatever, and if the person is slightly receptive to it, just be like, I really think you should do this thing. Like, I think you have the authority to do it, and I think you see the reasons. Let them think it was their idea all along, and just sit back and just enjoy smooth stuff. So, with that, man, we are at like 3 hours. Um, and I would either break or go, but I'm kind of at that point. This is 14 hours of wake time and 12 hours of work time. So I think for a Thursday, that's a heck of a push. We will make progress on this. Yeah, exactly. Lana BR. Exactly. That's the. Uh, we're weird. People are weird. I don't know what to tell you. Alice Coder is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. As part of the follow, you'll be notified when I go on. If you're curious about the commands that you have, you can hit exclamation point commands. That'll take you to a page. My schedule is exclamation point schedule. I do Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturdays at noon Eastern Standard Time, doing whatever. Usually Arduino. It's kind of my fun time. We just kind of mess around. Oh, Brave Cobra, part two. You, there are going to be many parts. There's a lot to this, but it's. There we go, Brave Cobra 2. Thank you very much. I will try to get my thoughts together about this. Get something going on that's more organized that y'all can follow and kind of put it out there. But I think we're off to the races. We have the initial state bucket, man. Yeah, let's start with part 2. Yeah, we see how far we get. Well, and I mean, there's other things that end up being kind of a diversion that I think. I'm not yet so worried about the destination of this stream to get concerned about the sidetrack. Like, sometimes, we'll get someone who's maybe new that asks about Lady Black Widows. Hey, what's up? You're joining just as I'm trying to end. I started at 4. I've been on for over 3 hours. It's a long day. I'm glad to see you in here. Thank you very much. Yeah, Lady Black Widows. By the way, y'all need to start exploring like the Twitch like creative space. So I followed people who are painting minis and people who are doing leathercraft, which I used to do leathercraft like way back in the day. There's a lot to explore. Actually, I think. Hang on, if this works. I don't know if it was under your username, Lady Black Widows, but maybe this will pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Yeah, time difference is a thing. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I did pick that up. I don't know if that was a stream that I think maybe you guys have a thing where maybe you do a combo stream on somebody else's, but excellent people, awesome people doing creative stuff, and you know, hey, let's give gaming a run for the money. Not that there's not a place for everybody, but like 2019, like let's make it the year that like I don't have to hear, oh wait, what? You're on Twitch, but you're not gaming? Like, well, then what do you do? That's just the most annoying thing ever. Since, like, I've been in the Twitch dev community for at least a year now. Rambling Geek, I think the GMT time should be correct. I'm -5. So unless there's some sort of an issue with daylight savings time, it should be correct. I don't know. I can look into that, but yeah, there you go. Check it out. This is creative stuff that people do. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna leave you all be. I will finish up some of this like grunt work. I do want to figure out why the provider wanted me to supply the region when really my local AWS config should have been supplying it. I think maybe it's a formatting issue in how I edited my AWS config file. It's not the credentials file, but I'll look into that. And yeah, and I'll see y'all on Saturday. We'll probably be doing a little bit of work with this. As it turns out, I was sitting on like a couple of resistors and jumper cables on my chair for like at least a day, and didn't even notice. Which means either I've lost feeling in my butt, or that's just like #hardware life. Yeah, so you want to see a Lady Black Widows, exactly. Rambling Geek, we won't clash going forward, so I will be able to watch. Yeah, that's my thing. It's not so that's why I really want to get this streamer schedule thing down, because I like to raid 2 people. It's because I don't find a lot by exploring. I find it mostly when other people raid other people, and I don't want to clash with people, not just from like as if it's a competition thing, but we share like the same mods. We share the same core user base, and I want to watch your stream too. So I really wish Twitch would make this easier to coordinate between streams. That's my wish. So, but y'all give Rambling Geek a follow, and I will see you all around here at noon Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, if I don't do a pop-up stream between now and then. But I probably won't, because I'm pretty tired. So, all right, y'all. Have a great night. Thanks for sticking around. Been a long one, but we're well on the way. All right, bye.